Okay, Rod, I think you need to go over this with me one more time.
I don't know why. It seems pretty simple to me.
I know it does, Rod, but I think it's pretty important we try again.
All right. I want to kill a little girl on camera.
Now, you see, Rod, that's the part I'm having trouble with.
I don't understand why.
Well, Rod, to be honest, I don't know if you really want to kill the little girl or not.
Oh, I think that's pretty clear.
No, Rod, it's not. Now just tell me, do you really want to kill the little girl for this episode?
What? Why would I even answer such a ridiculous question like that?
I've made my qualms quite clear. Are you even listening to me?
No. I'm listening to a place. A place made of light. This light shines not from above, but from below.
Oh, I'm not falling for any of that busker malarkey, Rod.
Boop. Mr. Executive, your 4 o'clock is here early.
Yeah, I might as well get it over with. Send them in.
Send who in?
Sorry, Rod. After a little incident at the local high school, I have to do community service in the form of letting the local wrestling team conduct at least one match in my office.
That seems inconvenient for everyone, even in the Twilight Zone.
The show's not popular enough for you to talk that way, Rod. Now help me move the desk.
Ready? Ready? Go! Point! Score! 0 for the Cobra. 1 for the Angels.
They irritate the irritated, flex perplexities, poise puzzles, magnify mysteries, impose inquiries, and coagulate quandaries. But more importantly, they ask one question.
Why would you make this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This, the only podcast to hurt its loved ones by trying to stick around long after even everyone stops asking the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. You can follow me at Time Commander on most social media. I'm also joined by Eug. How are you, sir?
Sir, I be well.
You be well.
I be in it, doing it, from wherever I be doing it.
You know, some people think it is like it be, but that's not how it do.
Don't mock me. I pay your salary. Right?
I have to do paperwork then.
yeah.
I am missing out on some dates. We are also joined, of course, by J Delta. Wagwan.
Wagwan. Yeah, my day started with my keys falling down a sewer, so, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Nowhere to go but up.
yeah.
Exactly.
Then my windshield wiper flew off while driving home.
It hit a kid.
It hit a kid. I had to flee from the cops, you know.
The kid was a warlord in another country. I don't want to get into it. I may have started a war. Anyway. So, of course, we watched Season 1, Episode 1. No, excuse me. Season 1, Episode 2. 1 for the Angels.
Well, we also watched episode 1.
We did. We did do that. So, case closed.
There was a case?
All right, well, in One for the Angels, a pitchman is visited by death and is forced to get his priorities in order.
Oh, how...
You better get your priorities in order.
So, of course...
A pitchman? Is that like a pitcher?
No, it is not. I have the
pitches you.
exact definition written down somewhere. I'll
Yeah,
mention it whenever
yeah.
we get to it. So, of course, very vaguely, but still, this episode was lost in translation. The French title was Pour les Angels, which means For the Angels. And, of course, that was all we had, so let's go to Bad Translator.
Yeah.
They said that this could be translated into Angel 1.
Which is the plane that all the angels go on.
Yeah.
This is Angel 1, over.
That's the hierarchy in the United States government. It's Air Force 1, then Angel 1, then Brown Shoe 2. It's a bus. It goes right to bus. So we also have the individual of angels.
Which is also known as angel.
That is. And finally we have who among the angels. Which is like, to me, a threat. Like, who among you? Who among you angels? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the information portion of the show. It used to be the budget, but they don't tell us that anymore.
The information portion of the show.
Go ahead.
This is the only part of the show where we give you information.
And now for the bullshit, meaningless portion of the show.
Everything else we make up. This part.
I gotta go ahead and get us a nice theme song for this part. Information part, everything else is a lie! So, of course...
That works.
It does work,
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
it?
happy with that.
This episode was released October 9th, 1959. We're still in 59, obviously.
Yeah.
Here's some information. Right here we have the day before, which would be the 8th. The L.A. Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers, in case there's a new L.A. in the future.
Well, were they... I thought they were still in Brooklyn back then.
That's not what this thing said.
Oh, well then.
Mm.
If this thing said... Well, it is the information part.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do?
I'm not allowed to lie. They beat Chicago White Sox 9-3 to win the 1959 World Series in the 6th game. The first automatic space station is what's called. The Ludnik 3 is launched into space by the Soviet Union.
That's what? Automatic
First
space station.
We still don't have those.
This is the least... This is very informative, because I didn't know any of this. None of this makes sense to me.
It was what showed us the dark side of the moon. It went up and took pictures of that.
Ah.
Yeah. Also, something I thought you all needed to know, which was according to mybirthday.ninja,
Stop there.
which is a real website. If you were born October 9th, 1959, in your last life, aka your last earthly incarnation, you were a North African female in the year 1025, and your profession was a handicraftsman or mechanic.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. This is legit. Based on this, in my past life, I was a North American fall webworm.
Did you just go there right now?
No,
I was
no,
gonna say. No, this is the information part of the show. That's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
That was the truth.
Okay, so North African female, 1025. That's a pretty big time gap.
Yeah.
So does that mean you were reincarnated somewhere else? Because this is earthly.
Oh, yeah.
So then after that, you were a space alien for a while.
Yeah.
Then you came back.
Because karma works on all planes and all existences, regardless of belief.
Well, yeah, it'd be silly if it didn't.
I'm throwing a flag on the play. I call bullshit already.
Okay.
How
No,
can
this is
you-
the information portion.
How can you be a North African female if your profession is craftsman? Huh? Riddle me that, motherfucker.
or mechanic. You know, all those
Wait a
cars
minute.
they had in 1025.
Look, I don't know what to tell you, man. They didn't have safe spaces back then. Everyone was a handyman or a mechanicman, or maybe it's the same profession but time-based. So she's a horse doctor. Because that's what a mechanic would be.
All right, yeah, I'll buy that.
Well, this is the information.
This is the
point, so
information.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Nothing is allowed.
That is fact. No lies allowed. All right, so enough with the truth.
Now here's some bullshit for
Yeah.
Let's move on to the best hour.
you. Our favorite hour.
Our favorite hour! The Troy McClure Hour. Oh, hi there. I'm Troy McClure. You'll recognize me from such feel-good family movies as Our Wagon Fell Over on Top of Our Horse, or We're All Going to Die, but at least there's a Christian heaven. Today, we're here to talk about human mortality. All right, so, director Robert Parrish.
Not that Robert Parrish. Continue.
No, you're thinking of Alan Parrish. The character
I
from
assure you.
Jumanji.
I assure you I am not.
Robin Williams. All right,
assure you
fine,
I am not.
fine, okay, fine. He directed things like the 1951 Cry Danger, the 1954 Purple Rain.
Not that purple
purple.
one.
Yeah.
No, not that Purple Rain. And the scenes with Peter Sellers and Orson Welles in the 1967 Casino Royale.
But not that Casino Royale.
No, I think that Casino Royale.
This is the original. Back in the day, before there was James Bond Casino Royale, which is Peter Fleming.
Yeah.
They did the spoof James Bond movies, which was like In Like Flint and Our Man Flint, and they
Okay.
had Casino Royale, which was in Penn. Okay, I'm sorry. That should have been in the information part. I apologize. Back to the bullshit.
Yeah, only lies are allowed here.
Unfortunately, now none of that is true. He unfortunately died in 1995.
Which also is not true. He's still alive, roaming the earth.
Because these are all lies. So here's the next lie. This episode was written by Rod Serling. Not true. Let's move on. No. Ed Wynn plays Lou Bookman. He was born in 1886.
God damn.
Yo,
He was a mechanic.
by which of course you mean he was a horse doctor.
Horse doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that was his birthday, I was like, we shouldn't have the ability to view people from that long ago. That's not okay.
They should just be an old grainy photograph.
Someone just held up an old grainy photograph of him.
So he is famous for playing Mad Hatter in the 1951 animated Disney's Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for real, the real one, not a fake one. The toy maker in 1961 Disney's Babes in Toyland, and Uncle Albert in the 1964 Disney's Mary Poppins.
So you're telling me Disney bought him? Like Disney owned him?
Well, they didn't have that type of power back in the 50s, but yeah, they were starting with him.
He was cheap because, 1800s, the old model.
Yeah, because he was a horse doctor.
Yeah.
How much for a horse doctor? $100? Okay, you're gonna act instead. Sadly, he died in 1966.
Get over it. It's been like 60 years.
Sorry, let me go ahead and take two. Fool died in 1966. Ah, can't breathe. So we also have Murray Hamilton, who plays Death. He's famous for playing Mr. Robinson, the 1967 The Graduate.
Fuck that shit.
No,
We all know where he's from.
is he Mayor Vaughn in the 1975 Jaws and Jaws 2?
You see, it's a summer town, and we need summer dollars. All right? People, if we close down these beaches, they're going to go to Cape Cod. They're going to go to Long Island.
No, they won't.
Yeah, that's true. They won't.
They
Yeah,
shouldn't.
no,
they shouldn't
won't.
come here.
People are still getting eaten by sharks in Long Island. It happened like a month
Yeah.
ago.
Not eaten, just bit.
What's the difference? Not whole, but they're still being eaten.
What's the difference? Let me show you. One of the two will allow us to finish the podcast.
Because the other, it'll take too long.
You have to go to the hospital because you're bleeding.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
Yeah. So we have Dana Murray, finally, who plays Maggie Polanski. You don't ever hear her last name. I don't know why she has one. She's famous mostly for her other Twilight Zone appearance and Playhouse Plays, but for some reason, not her 5 appearances over 6 years on the TV show My Three Sons. Because that was the most famous thing I saw
Yeah.
in her
You'd have thought Disney would have bought her.
Oh, yeah, right. I guess her death scene wasn't that impressive. You can see the full cast and crew at imdb.com. Let's start this film. Street scene. Summer. The present. A man on a sidewalk named Lou Bookman, age 60-ish. Occupation, pitchman. Lou Bookman, a fixture of the summer, a rather minor component to a hot July, a nondescript, commonplace little man whose life is a treadmill built out of sidewalks. And in just a moment, Lou Bookman will have to concern himself with survival. Because as of 3 o'clock this hot July afternoon, he will be stalked by Mr. Death. So first off, what a glorious time to be alive that a hot July summer's day is depicted by a, I would say, obese man in a wool brim hat and full suit wiping the single bead of sweat from his brow. What a glorious glorious time that must have been.
Well, everyone wore suits back then because it helped retain all the water, and you basically had your own personal swimming pool surrounding you at all times.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. No, it doesn't.
It's disgusting.
Second off, this has to be the first non-comedic use of fourth wall breaking. Because Death looks right in the camera. And I was like, well, that's not comedy, so I don't know why they did that. Like, there's nothing funny about that. That's just a man's face. All right, so we go to a stoop. Lou picks up his suitcase and walks away. He notices Death as he does. Oh, what's that?
That thing, by the way, that suitcase was awesome because I'm like, okay, he's got a suitcase on top of a table.
Yeah.
But then
Nope.
he goes, nope.
Yeah.
And transformers that shit and rolls out. I'm like, why do we not have that now? It's been
How
like
come the
70 years.
motherfucker ain't selling suitcases that turns into He's selling toy robots.
Not just
and-
any robot. It's the Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet. Hotsy totsy.
But no, because it had bloodshot eyes, and that made it legally distinct.
This is Ronnie, the robot. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm not enough of a lawyer to argue that, so I'll take 8. So Lou goes to the stoop, and he sits down and greets the local kids.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've been trying to sell all this stuff all day. I'm just dying out here in the heat just to try and sell a couple of these little knickknacks. Here, kids, take everything I got.
Yo, he totally ruins his market base. He just hands out all his wares. It's crazy. And then it gets creepy because he's like, hey, don't forget the Uncle Lou ice cream and social hour starts at the regular time tonight.
Yeah, ice cream hour, fine. Ice cream and social hour?
Lou, they're already being social.
Yeah.
Why do you need to get involved with this? Also, I don't know if you caught this, but as he's walking away, he's like, goodbye, goodbye. Don't forget the ice cream.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if he was like, and don't forget that thing I just told you, or if he was saying, and don't forget, you children have to bring the ice cream.
Remember, I like Rocky Road.
I'm just a poor pitchman. I can't afford sweets.
Lou, stop giving out. We'll pay for your toys.
So we go into the apartment, and Lou enters his home, goes about his business until he notices that same well-dressed man from earlier is sitting in a chair in his apartment. So naturally, Lou tries to sell him stuff.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Oh, it's one of these house calls I've heard so much about.
Wait a minute, I know you. You didn't buy my ties from earlier. Well, it's the second chance for old Lou. Here we go now. Look at
reason-
this silk cravat.
The only possible reason that you've stalked me and broken into my home is because you'd like me to continue to pitch to you. So, no, he is only interested if Lou is the correct Lou Bookman. He starts listing off family names and birthplaces and stuff like that.
Your third cousin's Irene? Little hefty?
Got
Single?
a limp. But not from that war.
You can't see this at home, but Time Commander over here, Jimmy Time, put his hands on his hips in a nondescript fashion.
And I leaned in when I said it too.
There's at least 30 degrees of lean.
As if to persuade you.
Oh, I'm persuaded.
Through the audio medium. So Lou what?
Yeah. Yo, you have figured out every wrong way to spell Lou throughout this script.
Thank you. Thank you. It's L-E-W as though it's like a Mortal Kombat character.
I see L-U over here.
Wait, hang on. You guys didn't have the version where it was played by a Chinese man? That didn't happen? That's all right. Well, let's just keep going, see what else is different. So, Maggie knocks on the door, and she has already broken the toy.
It's been 4 minutes.
Yo, you didn't even pay for that, and now I gotta fix it?
Yo, and he doesn't even charge her. He does it for free. So it's like he didn't even comment like, here's a broken toy. You come back, try to fix it. That's where I make my money. No!
How good was America that you didn't even need money to live back then?
As we know, full meals are $2.82 that you don't even need to pay for.
Well, they aren't because he said he had that much, and he just kept ordering more things. Like, it seemed like he didn't think he was going to run out of money anytime soon.
$2.85. I'll never run out of money.
And it was self-serve, so I guess that kind of ties into it. a
Boy,
little
I
bit.
don't know if it was self-serve before the town disappeared. What are we talking about? Listen to the last episode to find out. So, Lou tries to introduce Maggie to the well-dressed man, but she cannot see him. And the well-dressed man confirms this, though she can't see me. Lou ignores both of them and demands Maggie say a proper goodbye to the Invisible Man. She thinks it's a game, so she's like, that's funny. See you later, Lou.
I'll bring the ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the ice cream?
It's not the social hour yet.
Yeah, but we never see the ice cream.
Well, he's kind of preoccupied with the whole...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
After she leaves, this is one of my favorite parts. Lou gets very inquisitive, where he's like, "What? She couldn't see him, but I can, and he can see me." and if Death didn't go, Mr. Bookman, he definitely would have went on for days.
But I can see her. And can she see the ice cream? Wait, hold on.
Now, I was out on the street earlier, and I could see him. Maybe the other people couldn't see me, and that's why I couldn't sell my things.
But hang
Am
on.
I a ghost?
He's sitting in my chair. I've used that chair.
Now, I bought that chair.
Maybe the store wasn't real. Well, now, I mean, death or no death, he's already dead of natural causes. So the well-dressed man says it's time to go, and Lou doesn't understand. The well-dressed man gets really arrogant, and he says he doesn't understand why humans can't just recognize that they're all gonna die someday. Furthermore, his exact words, you don't appreciate how you're dying either. There are people who die violent, instant deaths, and we're not allowed to tell them. You get to walk around all day thinking about it.
Isn't that great? Just thinking about your mortality all day? What do you got? 26 minutes left?
Everything Lou says is something that makes me go, did he say that or did a writer say that? Because it doesn't make any sense. Lou says, number one, I find you devious, which I looked up to make sure. Devious either means...
Oh, my God.
Because I had to make sure. Devious either means you're skillful at underhanded tactics to achieve a goal, or longer and less direct in the straightforward way. So he said you're devious. Then he says, number two, I think you're dishonest, which, again, devious already covered.
All right,
Then he
thesaurus.
says, number three, why don't you say what you mean? Which, again, was already covered by the first thing he said. So all of these guys' lines is padding. Everything is padding.
He's a pitch man. That's what he does. All he does is take one little look. This toy's it's not trash, and he just stretches it out.
It's called Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is Lou's probably third set of dialogue, and they're already padding his character out. Death, straight up, from my perspective, threatens him. Because he goes, I've done everything but call your Undertaker.
Oh, shit.
Which, that's a threat. And then he insults him by saying, you're the most dense man I've ever met. So then Death touches a flower, and that flower falls over to a dramatic sting. That was the one.
Yo, dude, you just killed my flower.
Well, no, because it didn't wilt. It just fell over.
Yeah, right.
It just went to sleep. You don't get it, Mr. Bookman? Watch. You're the Sandman. Okay, so Lou finally realizes this is Death. What a fucking asshole Death is. Like, first off, Death has only ever been depicted as a man in a robe. Like, in this point in human history, that's like the only depiction of Death.
Yeah.
And he shows up and starts listing government facts off an actual piece of paper, a tangible piece of paper, and he's like, don't you get I'm here to kill you yet? What an arrogant fucking asshole this guy is. But he's Death, so we gotta respect him, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he also could be the government.
Well, you know what they say. The only two things are something certain.
Yeah.
Death and taxes.
That's what they say, all right.
Yeah.
I hear they patent that idea, too. Which is weird, because they should have copywritten it. They're not really good with that whole thing. So, Death tells him he's dying in his sleep at midnight tonight. Lou insists he's too healthy to die, but Death is not interested.
Nah.
No.
But I'm so healthy. All I have is this festering wound in my finger for the last 20 years. Well, yeah, that's what I'm here about.
Death explains the cases of appeals that you can have for death. Number 1, a case of hardship. Someone will suffer if you die. No. Number 2, case of priority. Statesmen or scientists who are on the verge of... First off, not even scientists. Scientists who are on the verge of scientific breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then just regular statesmen.
Yeah.
So, like, Death knocks on the door. He takes everybody in the room except for the lieutenant governor and the guy who's about to find the cure for AIDS. Like, those are the 2 guys that live.
Yep.
Yeah. A very exclusive club.
Again, pretty sure Death works for the government. I don't think he really is Death.
Wait, you're literally only saving the government and government-employed scientists. I think I see what's going on here. I've seen Dr. Strangelove.
What? Wait, what was that first thing you said? Case of hardship? You mean if you kill me and something can be traced back to you? Because people will suffer outwardly in the open? Yeah, I think Death might be the government. And finally, we have number 3, a case of business. Unfinished, or major unfinished business. Lou lists things he's never done, never flown a plane, never seen the Zulu war dance.
I have a theory on how to permanently escape death in the Twilight Zone universe.
Okay.
You just have a ton of kids, like with random women,
Yeah.
and then every time death shows up, you're like, no, but I got this kid, and I was never there for them. I gotta go. But and then every time, like, all right, well, that's fine. And then, all right, well, you met. Well, there's another one out in Cincinnati. I gotta. Another really?
No,
all right. And
after a while, go ahead.
it's a perpetuating cycle because you got a little cushion time in there.
And you got grandkids.
Oh, then you got grandkids.
I was gonna say, and then after a while, they probably just stop like asking questions, and they go, "Another kid? All right." So you could just open up a goat farm. And trick them. Go, I got this kid I gotta take care of. It's really a baby goat. They don't know.
Wordplay, you get it? Oh, shit, I said that to you.
Oh, wrong text. I'm sending it to Death. Oh, no. LOL, my bad. Not you. NMV. Or was it NVM? Never mind. NVM.
Skull emoji.
That's what he sends back, yeah. Oh, man. Alright, so this for me is where it kind of gets weird. Given the characters we've seen so far, this is where it gets weird to me. Which, like you said, Lou is like, oh, I have unfinished business. And Death is like, oh, well, we didn't say what it is. He says, I've never made one great big pitch. A pitch that, metaphorically, he didn't say metaphorically, but it's supposed to be metaphorically, makes the sky open up for me. As if I really accomplished something with that pitch. And Death goes, no. And Lou goes, and just sits down and folds his arm. And Death suddenly goes, oh, well, Mr. Book, I mean, the rules. Well, I couldn't possibly. I mean, even if I could, all right, Mr. Bookman. Like, it's just like, aren't you Death? How do you have no?
Yeah, Death is really inefficient back then. Like,
Yo, he
nowadays,
folds.
Death is on point. Death will just show up and get you.
You know what it is? It's that sickle. They took his sickle away. He felt super inadequate. He couldn't do shit. He showed with that giant knife. People start listening to you.
Yeah, but like nowadays, he found out about that Second Amendment. He is unstoppable.
Because he carries around a gun?
Yeah,
of course.
He doesn't even need to get near you. He just gets you from across the
You
room.
think he still uses a sickle? Come on. It's 2018. He's got a Glock.
He's got a Glock? Not even a sniper rifle. He's got a Glock.
he's got a sniper rifle. he's
hide
he's perched up across town. First time, November 22nd, 1963. Death discovers a new weapon, frames Lee Harvey Oswald.
Death remarked, I love the scope on this. It's great. Gotta get a Red Dog sight.
Watch me 360 no scope this guy. No, you can't beat Death. All right, so, Yeah, he's like, all right, we'll do your thing, Lou. Sure. And Lou's like, okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. Close the door. Because I'll never sell anything again!
Suck my dick! You fool, I got you! A deal's a deal!
And then, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly or not. I'm almost positive he takes his suitcase out from under the sink and puts it under a chair. Like he's trying to hide it.
Well, yeah, because under the sink, he's always got actually.
It's
you
always
put it
under
under the
the
chair, forget it.
Wait a minute.
If you're sitting on the chair, how are you going to get the suitcase?
Lou, don't you always put that suitcase under the sink? Well, how are we going to sell anything now that I can't find it?
His plan was to rely on his Alzheimer's.
But also, this whole like pitch idea, we've never seen him sell a thing at this point.
No.
He's given away everything, and just everything he's given away is also broken. So
He clarified that she was pushing in as she turned and she shouldn't.
Right, blame the customer.
Always, yeah, every day.
I opened this box and, like, it was all smashed to bits. Oh, you pressed too hard when you opened the box. It's your fault.
You're supposed to wind it, right? And then the jack pops out of the box? Yeah, well, the spring came out, went in my brother's eye. Is that normal? You wound it too tight. You wound it way too tight.
You didn't ask him nicely to come out.
I can respring you out of your brother's out of eye, but I don't know what else you want me to do for
I
you.
can also respring your brother if that's how you feel.
Just have him come down to the ice cream social hour.
Also bring ice cream.
And root beer. I'm making floats. It's root beer float. You put ice cream in root beer.
Were you calling someone root beer?
No,
that a nickname?
bring root beer.
Oh.
He owes me $10.
Yeah, I think you said, hey, root beer. I didn't... That whole thing's getting cut. I couldn't make sense of it. Couldn't make funny of it. So Death... Lou runs away because Death, like, voiceovers, it's not over yet, Mr. Bookman.
But then he's in the room.
Oh, is he in the
Yeah,
room?
yeah. He's like, it's not over yet, and he's there. in the
Oh,
corner.
what?
Yeah. So then he's like, all right, fine.
And he runs out of the house.
Sure, you're magic. I could just outrun you.
Yeah, but he's there. And then he
Yep.
runs down the stairs, and he's there. And then Death is like, all right, fine. If you don't want to come with me, I'll just take somebody else. And Lou's like, why would I give a shit about that?
I don't care about anybody else. I'm Lou Bookman, world's greatest pitchman.
And you hear a screech. Oh, no. Maggie got hit by a car.
Did she?
Also, it threw her at a very weird angle. Because she, like...
And she didn't sustain any injuries. She's just laying there.
No, yeah, it's a car full of knockout gas. It hit into her and all the gas fell on her. The gas wasn't tied down properly.
Yeah, but on the bright side, now she's got daredevil powers.
That's true.
It was just those mercury bumpers back then.
They weren't made of mercury. They were filled with mercury. It's because back in the day, we were still figuring out thermometer technology. So, of course, they were larger than they are today.
No. Can't be true. It's not in the information.
All right, so, Lou runs out and goes, oh, and she's like, who's that man? And she can see Death. Oh!
Really? You know every single person in town that you're like, oh, that guy, he's different. He's new.
I mean, I wasn't around in the 50s to know what the population was like. Maybe it was.
There were 20 people in town.
Look,
And look, nobody cares about this little girl except Lou. Everyone's like, oh, shit. Ooh, she's on the ground.
yeah, she has a bed. Like, because later she's laying in a bed.
Oh, yeah.
And that bed is in some sort of area that could be considered an apartment. But you never see her parents. Like, as far as we know, her apartment is her bedroom, and that's it. Like, she lives in it by herself. It's like an orphanage home.
The economy was so good back then. A kid could afford her own
She's
her own
42
studio
years old.
apartment.
She just has a horrible
That's
disease.
why my grandparents think I'm not doing anything with my fucking life. Because when they were 8, they owned land.
Oh, what's the rent on this place? 1 broken robot toy? Sure, here you go.
I just have to eat ice cream in front of you? Okay.
Yo.
I can't tell if the 50s were good or bad.
Yeah, I'll fucking take that rent.
So, blackout. That's Act 1. We come back and it's the evening. The doctor says that he can't tell, but we'll know
How
by
am I
midnight.
supposed to know? I'm not a doctor.
We'll know by midnight.
I don't think that's how it works, Doc.
That's when her odometer rolls over. Like, I don't know what he was waiting for.
How old is she? Split her open and check her rings. I don't know.
Yeah, if she chimes at midnight, she's fine.
We gotta wait till midnight. Why? Well, I figure she'll probably be not tired by then, and if she wakes up, then we know she's alive. So Lou, he's like, I don't know. The doctor's like, we'll know by midnight. See you later. He leaves. And Lou's like, I won't let him take her. I won't.
Yeah. The best part is, the doctor's like, she's very sick. No, doctor, she's not sick. She was hit by a car. You know, like, motherfucker doesn't crash his motorcycle and they go, ooh, he's got a bad sickness.
Got that lead poisoning.
This illness is gonna take all types of medicine. How do you penicillin a leg back together?
Back then, morphine. It's just,
Morphine?
oh, just give her morphine.
Just give her the old morphine. Just give her the over-the-counter heroin and she'll be fine.
Well, fucking Coca-Cola had Coke back in it back then, so.
Yeah, no, I don't. When I said over-the-counter heroin, I didn't mean a joke. I meant by Bayer. Like, literally. You can go look that shit up.
No.
No,
this
it's
isn't-
not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But, we keep saying that it's not true.
Oh!
So, it is nighttime. Lou is back on the stoop. He waits. Death arrives. Death arrives 15 minutes early. Lou pleads for Maggie's life, but Death says he can't do anything about it. He just has to be in there by midnight, or the whole timetable is off.
How are there so few people dying that this motherfucker has time to show up 15 minutes early? I don't show up 15 minutes early to anything.
That sounds like a personal flaw, dude. It sounds like you're not getting hired to be Death anytime soon, I'll tell you that.
I mean, he's probably not the only death, right? Like, they subcontract that shit
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, probably. It's certainly not a union job.
No, it's...
There were no subcontractors back then. There weren't even contractors. Just work on your own home.
Oh, it's an MLM. Like, he's just lower down on the rung.
Oh, okay. So what is it just like souls go up to the death?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go up to God. I gotta be honest, this is
And we're right back to Scientology.
this is all logic. Like, this is all solid. I am not finding a flaw in any of that. I think that might actually be what it is. Oh wow, I think religion is a multi-level marketing scheme. we figured it out, guys.
figured it out.
We did it.
Here's you and 45 million of your friends here at the bottom. Here's the burning bush right near the top.
Oh, like Bush.
Now, can I see the bush? Ooh, you gotta be...
You gotta be a level 7 and
You didn't pay a level 7 dues yet. It's about $4 million. You don't have that, but you have family, right? All right, good enough.
All right, well, look, all you gotta do is recruit 30,000 people under you.
So, what do we have? Yeah, Lou sets up his trunk and starts to sell items to Death. At first, Death, he thinks it's cute. He's like,
This
guy.
motherfucker. I've heard pictures before.
Let's see what he got. Like, you try your little thing. Let's see what it is. Time ticks by, and Death is getting worn down by the sales.
Yo, this motherfucker is about to nut. Like, he is drenched in sweat.
Oh, his hair's all ruffled.
Yeah. And it's been 5 minutes.
It has been 5 minutes. Yo, and they say kids today have no attention span.
Yeah.
He's 5 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm feeling claustrophobic on this sidewalk." This man's been talking to me for how many sets of 60 seconds? I can't even count. So there are 10 minutes left, and Lou gives his best lines.
Oh.
300 years of back-breaking research and labor to develop the absolute ultimate in thread. Fabulous, incredible development of the Taylor arts is not available in stores. It's smuggled in by Oriental birds, especially trained for ocean travel, by carrying a minute quantity in a small satchel underneath their ruby throats. It takes 832 crossings to supply enough thread to go around one spool. And for the special Get Acquainted introductory mid-July hot summer sale, it's only 25 cents a spool.
I'll take everything.
I'll take all you have.
I'll take it all. Holy shit.
Where did he get? He pulls out this giant bag and just starts shoving all this stuff into it. I'll
Where
take those
did
too.
Death get money?
What do you mean? He fucking kills a guy and empties his wallet.
His pockets? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You telling me you end up somewhere on the rung of the Death MLM?
What evidence is there at this point in the episode that he is Death, other than Lou turns around, looks back, and now Death has moved to a different chair in the room?
That's it. That's all he's got.
This motherfucker's just Chris Angel. Like, he's just doing some illusions.
He's a dude with a notepad who's stalking an old man and may or may not have 25 cents to buy a spool of thread.
Sounds like a war vet. So, there are 5 minutes left before midnight. Death takes everything he has. Everything! He literally says, give me everything. 1 minute left, and Lou offers himself.
And let me just tell you, the way Death in this scene is... Mwah! Like, chef's kiss. The line reading is so good. Because Lou goes into his pitch.
Well, he was like, well, I'm offering me, a genuine, bona fide Lou Bookman.
How's that?
What?
Say it.
And then he goes and he's like, yeah, you know, your own blah, blah, blah
Right,
servant.
bro.
And he goes, how's that? And, like, the way he delivers those lines, I was like, yo, fucking, this is incredible.
I love the line after that where he's like almost, I want to say like proud of how angry he is, where he's like, Mr. Bookman, you are a persuasive salesman. Like, is it saying, I hate that I'm definitely going to purchase a human being right now. That's 100% what was going to happen with Death.
Like, I know they outlawed this and I'm going to get in trouble. But
I voted for that.
But I need someone to steam all these cloaks and buy me some new notepads.
I made that deal with Lincoln. I let him pass this if I got him.
Remember the theater? I was there. I looked at Mary Todd, said, not yet. Wait a minute. There was no stay of death for Lincoln?
Well, no, because that was like a sudden instant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't natural causes.
Oh, I see.
You only get a stay for natural cause. What is Death gonna do? Dive in front of the bullet for John Wilkes? No!
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the like 6-month John Wilkes Booth put into planning that shit, and Death could have been like, yikes.
You're talking about a guy who castrated himself, John Wilkes Booth, because he looked at a hooker and got a fucking erection.
Yeah.
I don't think there was too much planning going on in that man's life, okay?
Dude, what a time to be alive. You can kill a president without planning. What? That's not okay. They should look into that.
That's one of those things. Like, ooh, I can't jerk off because I castrated myself. What am I going to do to release this tension? I'll kill the president.
You know? Now that I don't have testicles, that really makes a lot of sense to me.
Which means he just happened to be there at that show also. He's just like, oh, God, I love the theater so badly. All right, wait a minute. This guy in front of me with his impossibly large stovepipe hat is blocking my view.
Also, how did I get seats in this private box?
Sex Emperor Tyrannus!
Yo, I know, hindsight's 20/20, but that's my favorite part, is that dude shot the president, jumped out of the balcony, and went on stage and went, Six Emperor Tyrannus, and the crowd went, oh, this is a strange twist in the play.
Today they would scream "Free Pussy Riot" and then run, run out the door.
Oh, this is one of the plays where they interact with the crowd.
Where's my pie? Do I have a pie? So death is very persuasive, man, and it really seems like it's just the deal's just about to go through, and dong midnight.
Oh, shit.
And the doctor leaves. He's like, yeah, just have her drink that every hour, and she'll be fine. I think give some fucking medical advice.
No, you are not a doctor.
Would definitely kill people in today's standards. Just take this morphine 4 times a day.
Yeah. Drink this motor oil and take the morphine, and she'll be fine.
Normally, I would tell you to drink castor oil, but that's not thick enough.
Have you tried Johnson's Miracle Cream?
Yeah, so Lou is like, wow, I did it. I made a great pitch, a one I always wanted. A one that opens the sky, and that's like, one for the angels? He's like, yeah. Oh, excuse me, he goes, one for the angels? And then it goes, same sting. He's like, yeah, I guess it's time to go. Go up there? Yeah, Mr. Bookman, you made it.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Twilight Zone, but, you know,
Yeah, you made it.
Christian.
Imagine
heaven.
just being the guy, just like forced to watch the episode with the piano, and it's like, okay, here's death. All right, I'm gonna take a 15. Come back. Heaven? That's right, Mr. Bookman. All right, I'm done for the day. Here's my check. $2.
I mean, I've heard a story before where some people went to Paul McCartney to write a song for them. They're like, we want this, and we want this in it, and we're kind of looking for this, and that sort of thing. So you have 3 weeks. Just let us know. And they leave, and he's just kind of like, when should I tell them I've already written it? Like, just now, sitting with them, I've already written it in my head. So maybe that's how
Like,
you
I'm
are.
gonna get paid for 3 weeks' work. Fuck that.
Hell yeah.
So maybe Sterling was like, "Hey, we need a score for death, whatever." He's like, "I already. What do you mean? You just throw your hand on the piano."
You just let your cat run across it.
It's death, right? So I'll pass that on the piano, and you just put that in the show, and it's fine. Yeah, up there. Yeah, you made it. So this is the closing narration. Louis J. Bookman, age 60-ish. Occupation, pitchman. Formerly a fixture of the summer. Formerly a rather minor component to the hot July. But through his life, a man beloved by the children. And therefore, a most important man. Couldn't happen, you say? Probably not in most places. But it did happen in the Twilight Zone.
Still no classic.
No, I guess that's like season 2.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it didn't have the end theme, so I was like, all right, done. And I didn't even stick around to be like, join us next time. So I got no clue what the next one was. Yeah, it was a weak ass ending.
Yeah, man.
A real weak ending.
Look,
I never liked that one.
Dude.
you're gonna come to realize, like, people are like, yeah, man, Twilight, and like, I really do like some episodes of the Twilight Zone, but it's really like a select few,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are like, but look, it's magic.
Ugh.
But why? Because it's a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, you've got. I'm gonna put my money that the first like real classic one is probably
Season 2.
Well, oh no, you got some good ones. Season 1, like my favorite is Time Enough at Last, which I think is number 8.
I'll spit in your face when we do that episode.
We'll get there.
What, fucking the Jerry Lewis Variety Hour?
That's Burgess Meredith. How dare you?
Yeah. Go and watch it again. And you'll be like, oh my god, this motherfucker's doing a Jerry Lewis impression.
It has been a while.
Burgess, isn't that Penguin?
Burgess.
Or was that the Riddler?
Well, Burgess Meredith was most famous from the Rocky movies. You're gonna fight a dinosaur, Rock.
Oh. Who played the Penguin in the 1966 Batman? I thought it was... Oh, well,
Shouldn't
whatever.
you know that?
Didn't you write that?
Didn't you? Weren't you there? Aren't you Adam West?
We'll put it in the time part, the information part for
There you
next
go.
time.
There it is. Yeah, I think last episode I said my guess was that this was going to be like Donnie Darko. Like a whole, he sees his death, realizes sticking around is a bad idea, and he chooses his death. No, I was dude, I am like in season 9 with my guesses. Like, I'm not even close.
No, you are way too clever for this.
Like, literally, like, the twist is like, yo, that guy wasn't selfish. What the... What?
It's a different time, my
No.
friend.
All right, yeah, so Wasn't really good. Whatever. So let's move on to the Hollywood thinking cap. That's where we try to rewrite this episode for today's standards.
All right.
I mean, what do we got here?
Okay, so my interpretation is we're gonna go like because we're keeping the same basic, So he's a dude on the internet, right? We do it in the style of like how they're making all the movies now, where it's like all on the computer screen, like FaceTime. He's one of these guys who like tries
I hate
to,
those.
yeah,
I hate
I
those.
know, but they're all the rage right now.
I didn't say I was gonna make a profit off this.
What do you mean? These are like the cheapest movies to make. You film that shit all like just screen cap.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do it where he's like one of these guys online who's like, nah, buy my course, the same basic spiel, and he meets a guy online who like knows a lot about him, and at first he thinks like, oh, this motherfucker's just hacked all my shit.
Yeah.
It's death, blah blah blah, and then instead of like, oh, we're gonna kill a little girl, I say go full ridiculous, like the end of The Abyss, where it's like, it's like, oh, turn to CNN.com, Mr. Bookman, and it's like, a massive tidal wave is heading for the East Coast, blah, blah, blah. And
it's like he's gonna die anyway.
yeah. Well, no, he's on the West Coast. But, he sacrifices himself for all the other people.
Sure. Do you have anything huge?
I pretty much
Just ideas or whatever?
my thought was exactly, well, not exactly, but along the same lines, where it's just going to be him trying to avoid death at all costs, but death pops up on his phone and death pops up on the computer, and like death is everywhere, and you can't escape him. All that jazz.
Yeah, I didn't like go that into. I was just like thinking like, how could you literally update the episode? And I was like, you wouldn't really like. It would still be a dude selling cheap toys out of a suitcase, except the city would be dirtier now.
Oh, all right.
And so I was like, I feel like it would be better if you did something where like some guy was gonna die or whatever, and then he made a deal with death not to die, and he's like, yeah, live his life. But then he found out that if he would have died, his organs would have went to some little kid or some shit, and now that he's alive, that she's gonna die, and the kid's dad is gonna lose his mind, come back and shoot a die. Or like it's a chain of events that sets forth because he didn't give his.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, but
with organs.
With organs, yeah.
And then the angel gets his wings.
It's in there. Every time a spleen gets a gallbladder. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about organs. Oh my god.
What am I fooled with right now? What is in here? Hang on.
Oh, it's ice cream.
Oh, I'm just a Mr. Potato Head. It's just all the spare parts. I got eyes and lips in there. Oh.
Look at this hat.
I got a hat in my belly. That's where I keep my shoes and my hat.
This is why I don't play Operation with you.
Yet you come to me for actual medical surgery. I don't understand it. Keep telling you, I'm a horse doctor. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, why would you make this? I mean, unless they're like going really into depth into the commentary, which I don't have. No. They didn't mention it, and the fans of the show who listened to the commentary didn't feel the need to write it down anywhere.
No.
So, yeah, we have is the obvious. People fear death.
Yeah.
Rod must have been dealing with death in some way. That he was like, let me write about this. It's the 50s. I mean, they didn't have any. I'm sure everybody was dying of rickets and stuff like that. Like.
Well, it's either polio or rickets.
It's gotta be. What else do we have here? The only information I had that I thought was interesting as to why it was filmed the way it was filmed, which is Ed Wynn's Advanced Age had them film the night scenes during the day with tarps pulled over them, like just over the set to give the illusion of no light. Yeah, so.
Because he's old. He's gonna fall asleep.
So that's all I got. That's why it was made.
That's why it was made during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that one thing I want to talk about is because we were looking at the tvtropes.org and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about some of the tropes and stuff they had, which it's interesting, some of the tropes they put in here, because some people seem to think that this is, in a sense, a secret text of character. For some, where Blue had to become, a righteous person in order to
Yeah,
to go to heaven and
like
stuff
Death
like that.
was wise to the spiel the whole time,
Yeah.
and was like, you could almost make the argument: is he going heaven or hell, kind of thing? Like, is it that?
in a sense, and that you could say that, and then if a step further, which is Death pushed him towards heaven by allowing him
Exactly.
Yeah.
to get
Get out of his rut and make that big
or
pitch.
even on top of that, who's just what if this was 100% the plan? Like, Lou wasn't supposed to die in his sleep. That was Death lying to him, and this was how he was supposed to die, but Death had to set it up that way.
Yeah, but what if that little girl grows up to be Hitler?
That's
It's very true.
in the past, so no. This is 50,
Future Hitler.
50, look,
That's future Allied powers problem.
Yeah.
We'll let them deal with it.
still waiting for them to show up. we already got the Nazi part. We're just waiting for the Allied power part.
Oh, it's aliens. Here they come.
Spoiler
They're just
alert,
gonna vaporize
cavalry's
us.
not coming.
It's because we don't have enough horse doctors. I didn't think I was getting another shot with that one. I really didn't think. I figured that was the end of it. And another thing they point out is that this episode has a rarity in this show, which is a happy ending.
That's very true.
Very
yeah.
rare. Okay, so the next episode that we are going to watch would be episode 3, where a town drunk, Dan Duryea? That's what his name says. That's the actor's name.
Yep.
A town drunk faces an infamous killer after magically regaining his gunfighting skills. Originally, in a text to you, Delta, I said, it's aliens, but I was fucking around. So my guess was changed to, it's the original Death hallucination. He drunk himself to death, and this is all just him guessing it.
Interesting.
That's my guess.
I guess we'll find out next time.
We will, whenever that is. So let's go ahead and just plug ourselves real quick. Victory Pro Wrestling is happening.
September 22nd. I won't be there, but there's going to be a show in October. You should check that out. VictoryProWrestling.com. You could follow me online and at DJ Delta. Check that out. You can see me be sad about throwing my keys down the sewer.
What, 2 months from now, and you're still
Yeah.
gonna be going on about something that happened outside of the show. The fans won't even get it.
Well, by that point, he's going to have the digital backup, in which case the Cloud will then rip him off and break into his home and steal all his possessions.
So join us at Victory Pro Wrestling October 23rd, where Delta will
Fights a cloud.
fights the Cloud. Yeah, he will call out the Cloud and then fight it.
Yeah.
It's an update where young man yells at Cloud.
Young man and puppet yell at cloud.
So again, that's VictoryProWrestling.com. You can also go to WWYMT.com for all things Why Would You Make This, including ways to listen to and download the episode, and a link to the old YouTube.
Check it out.
It's still up there.
Yep.
People seem to enjoy it.
It's there. It's waiting for you. Just click it.
There's lots of good stuff on the YouTube. Puppet videos and political shit.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants politics.
Old politics.
Yeah.
Those are the worst kind.
Yeah.
It's all Hillary stuff.
No, I mean like real old politics. Like, should we separate from the British?
I say no.
Yeah, all right. Well.
Let me tell you in this YouTube video all about it.
All right, so for Eug and J Delta, I am Jimmy Time. And please remember that without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts. The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.